an idea of castes as a way to classify humans by levels of consciousness. How real is that idea and that classification, and can it be applied to our society right now or not? This topic came up with some of the comments that I received after uploading a video about manifestation, in which I was talking about such a thing as having a right for a manifestation or deserving something to manifest in your life. Some people clearly were happy with that idea and accepted it readily, and some felt like this is unfair, this is false, this is evil, as usually everything that we don't understand is evil, of course. So that's why I'm going to talk about this idea of castes as a classification of human consciousness levels, which was used in India and was kind of officially created there. And I will explain how it works and why this classification even is necessary. And after the explanation, I'll give you some examples from like real life situations in which I will ask you to find yourself, like which role are you playing, in which role do you see yourself in that specific situation. But we'll start from the theory. So caste is a way to classify consciousness by levels. Why is this important? Because once you get awareness of the fact that we are not living just once, we do reincarnate, and this process is going for a pretty long time, and we are evolving as we reincarnate every time. And this process has specific dynamics to it. So in this process of reincarnation, we go from the very primitive form, living in that form for as long as we need, as many lifetimes as we need, in order to perfect our incarnation in that form. So if it would be, I don't know, a fish, or later a tiger, or whatever, all the forms that we go through as we grow, they signify expansion of consciousness, meaning that it is technically easier to be a fish, like less work to be done. But there are some things that fish is dealing with, like in order to be a more successful fish, like more efficient as a fish, you do have to gain some skills, some specific skills, how to find food, how to hide from predators or whatever else, how to reproduce and take care of the your babies, let's say. So that process does require a certain level of skills. For a fish, it's not that much, actually. So it takes a certain number of lives to learn that and perfect yourself as a fish. And the moment when you become a perfect fish, like perfectly advanced, like the highest level of fish, you cannot get any better. There's like no skills left for you to learn as a fish in that body, in that avatar. Like you've explored it all, you solved all the questions and tasks that were there to solve for a fish. You have no more point to incarnate as that form anymore. You are ready for your next form. And that would be the next level of like complexity of an organism. So next organism you get will be a little bit more complicated, a little bit more complex than the previous one. So with this logic, we understand that through your whole history, you move through many forms. And at that point, when you perfect yourself as a fish, for example, we can look at this process as like opening up of a level of like awakening a Kundalini as a fish, let's say, like to understand Kundalini as level of power and not to see it as you might see it, but I suggest that you try to uh, imagine Kundalini as like, I don't know, like an onion which has layers. And so you open up one layer, you grow a little, then you open up a little bit more, and you go to next form. And so in each form that you pass through, you awaken Kundalini already. So for those who think that it's something impossible and it's done only once, like even fish do this, and like every creature has passed through that, and you've passed through that many times. Every time you pass from one form to the next form, you expand, and that expansion is awakening of Kundalini. That is the term used for it. Okay. So you perfect yourself as a fish, then you move to the next form, you perfect yourself as the next form, then you get the next body, and so on and so on and so on, until in our human example, that would be whatever animal you were when you learned everything. For example, as a wolf, whatever, you learned everything that is to learn as a wolf, and you lived like almost forever. You were like the oldest wolf because you were pretty much like unkillable because you were like, you solved all the things, like how not to get killed, how to get food, how to stay safe, how you solved all of those like equations. You became very successful as a wolf, and being successful in a certain form makes you live longer in that form because you're not damaging yourself quickly, and so you can keep that body longer. Where you live long life. Your last life as a wolf was you lived for the longest period, and at some point when you already felt bored of this doing the same thing, and because you've already solved all the equations, so you die, and the next incarnation you receive might be a human body, for example. Let's take this example as theory. So you receive a human body for the first time, and you have no idea how to operate it because you've never been a human. You've been a fish, you've been whatever, tiger or wolf or whatever else. You know how to be a wolf very well. You've really perfected that skill. But now you received a completely new body, and you are like looking at it like, what is this? How does this work? What am I supposed to do? You look at other humans, like, how do I operate with them? Like, and you start like barking at them. Like, that's what you did when you were a wolf, and you tried to attack them and show your power and strength, and you attack them. That you think that's the algorithm is probably same. I was successful with that when I was a wolf, so why don't I just do the same? And quickly you learn that that does not work that well in this form. So your first life as a human, you are pretty much like very primitive, like kind of like a dog, or that level. I use that dog example all the time. I think I love dogs in some way. So you already have the human form, but you don't yet have human consciousness. To become human, you need to really evolve, like you evolved with the body of a wolf, perfected it to the maximum, then you had a chance to get free from it, move to the next level. In the same logic, once you receive this body, you have to learn all the mechanisms that are installed into this body. So, and that is a complicated thing to do. This machine is very complicated. And how would you think, like if it's your first life in a human body, how do you suggest that you really solve this whole thing in just by one? You just were a dog yesterday, and today you got this body and you've just figured it out just right away. And you come to me and you say, we're all equal. We're like, I've lived like thousands of lives, and I've struggled with this body like for ages and ages, and I'm just figuring it out. And you, just first incarnation, yesterday you were a dog, today you have this body, and you're coming and telling me that you have an opinion. Like what I'm saying is stupid and you don't understand it. Of course you don't understand. That's quite logical. That you don't understand why some people deserve things, some people don't, that certain things work in certain way. Of course you don't understand. That's quite logical. Once you understand how it works, you will understand why you don't understand. That's logical. It's just your like fifth life, maybe. Well, it's just, I'm exaggerating maybe, but I'm trying to get my point through. That's logical. If you don't understand something, you're afraid of it, it means you're closer to the animal still. And those who are closer to the human form, they will understand what I'm talking about, all right? So this channel is for those who are closer to the human form. And those people who are closer to the human form, they're not so afraid of talking and thinking, and they can do it already. And when I talk, they understand. And they take my words with peace and with appreciation and with understanding. And they get the point that what I'm trying to share here is love and information. But love is a very dense form of information. It's the most complicated thing that exists in the human consciousness. So yes, of course, this thing is complex, the thing that I'm sharing. And yes, of course, it will scare some of you. Please understand that if my words make you feel confused, disoriented, or like they feel scary to you, that is a symptom that you are not ready to receive this information. Just accept this as it is. I will explain why, please. Okay, just don't comment right now. Wait, at least watch the rest of the video. You'll understand what I mean. You'll understand and you will accept it, okay? Let me explain all that it's actually for your good. If you trust us, if you trust those who are ready to think, we will think good. We will think for your benefit. Trust us. We are designed for thinking. You are designed for something else. For what? I will explain with the logic of the caste system. So, castes in India, they were described as the levels, as levels of consciousness. Let's say just four. Let's take for simple understanding. 4 levels in which we classify people according to how many incarnations they've had, like how long ago have they started participating in this whole thing, and how successful they were. Because somebody can incarnate at the same time, you and me, maybe we started at the same time, but you were scared and were sitting in the corner this whole time, ages and ages and ages, afraid of everything, just barking from the corner. And I was out exploring the world. So we started together, but I was going faster because I was taking more risks, I was more curious, and I was advancing faster. That's all. So this system of castes explains that those who just start reincarnating, they will first incarnate on the most primitive level, and that is a level of laborer or worker. And that worker, or let's say servant also, it can be called, that is level of somebody who is just getting to know this physical body, who's just received this body, human body, for the first time, and he's like, what do I do with this? What is this scary? This world is so scary. What do I do? How do I use this? So first level of incarnation is designed for you to first learn how to master just physical body, how to use it properly. For that, like when you're just so afraid of like how I know how to hunt as a wolf, I know how to survive as a wolf, but why I cannot do this as a human? Like if I try to run after a rabbit, like I cannot catch it with my teeth. It's not very effective. So what do I do? You feel scared, like you don't know how to use this body for survival. You need to find somebody to solution for this, and then somebody from a level above you comes and gives you a tool, gives you a shovel, and tells you, dig the ground. And you feel relieved. You feel relieved. Finally, you have a purpose. You have something to do. You have, your mind is busy. Your body is busy. You're like, okay, how do I do it? And they show you how, and you just dig the ground, and you are satisfied. You're fulfilling your purpose as a human because you feel safe, because you have work, because you have something to apply this body to, and not to feel all that terror in your head of like thinking about this world. What is this? Why is this so? I don't understand anything. Well, you're busy digging the ground. You're busy, so your body is busy. You don't think. That's what we need. for the first level. That's perfect. For that, we need somebody to come and give you a tool so that you just to keep you busy, all right? So that's the worker level, laborer. And a person will be incarnating, a soul will be incarnating as a worker for a number of lifetimes until he or she perfects that ability of operating the physical body. So basically, that would be, I'm wondering about the microphone. Is it still making the noise, or is it? It's so hot that the fan on the computer is not handling it, and it's making more noise than that's it's supposed to. Pretty hot here in Istanbul right now. Even though air conditioner is working, still it's making more noise than I expected it to. So back to the story. I hope the sound is okay. So you will be incarnating as a worker for a number of years, lives, and until you perfect your skill of using this body to the level of of perfection, let's say. That would be like opening of, like waking up of that level of Kundalini. It's like that layer of the onion opens up, and you're evolving from level to level, even without changing the form. You're still in a human body, but you already move from like the bottom chakra. You can move a little bit higher, right? You move from survival into something else. How does this work? When a worker, for example, he is like for life after life, he is involved with, I don't know, pottery. I don't know, he's making pots. And he's doing it life after life after life after life, because that's the only thing he can do, and he's doing it well, and he keeps doing until the moment when he perfects his creation to the level when it looks like an art object. So when you see handmade things which inspire you, and when you look at it, you feel love, you feel inspiration, you feel like it looks like art. It's just made by hands, but it looks like art. Like not every piece of pottery will look like art, right? Not every piece of pottery will inspire you, but there will be one. When you look at it, you'll feel like, wow, I want this. This is amazing. That is the meaning of the perfection of a skill. It means that worker who's been doing it for many lives, he reached the level of a perfect pottery maker. That's when work turns into art. That means he perfected that skill. Once he perfected that skill, he has nothing there to learn anymore in that area. So he feels like, what's the point to continue? Because like he's learned everything. So his next incarnation, he already can do it, but he's not interested in making pottery anymore. And he will come up with an idea. Oh, why don't I teach others to make it? I'm so good at it and people like it. And do you want me to teach you? Okay, come together. I'll teach you and you'll be making it, and I will be collecting money. And that is the transition from laborer to a merchant. Merchant is somebody who is already not doing the physical work by himself, but is organizing others to do the work for him, and he is the one collecting the money. That's beginner level. He will just do that level. As he evolves in that caste, he will be getting better and better at this exchange of work to money to goods. He will get better. He'll get more involved in that game. He'll start enjoying it, and he'll learn how to earn more and spend less effort. And for that, he will require to learn a perfect skill of communication, because merchant needs to make deals. He needs to feel people. He needs to catch those little signals and know the price very well to be able to do business successfully. And he will be doing it for lifetimes after lifetimes until he perfects that skill of being a merchant, making others work for him and collecting money and exchanging money, like making business deals with other merchants. And that's their game. That's what they do. And like a perfect level of merchant, if you've, I don't know if you've ever met one, I've known someone who is able to, that's the highest level of a merchant, how you can recognize one is if you show him like two objects, like, I don't know, two chairs or two towels or whatever, you show them two objects, and this person is able to clear, like very, very, very spot on, just very clearly, very correctly determine the price of each object. That is a skill that they gain, like just by just looking at objects, they can estimate the price very specifically, like for every object. They get that feeling after being in that sales area for so many lifetimes. So that's the perfection of a merchant level. And once someone has perfected that level, that soul has no more point to keep incarnating and doing the same thing. He's the best among all the merchants. He just reached the top, and there's like nothing else for him to learn in business, for example. He's got it all. It's so easy for him. He just opens businesses and they just run so successfully. Just nothing more there to learn. Next thing he will be interested in, he will look at those who have power. And he'll be like, why don't I, like, because he, while building his businesses, he'll notice that sometimes he needs to deal with people of power and, like, I don't know, some governments or some, like, people who, they might not have money, but they have something else. They have power to say no or to put some law which blocks his business. And he'll get interested. How do I get there? Like, they don't have the money, but they have power over my decisions. And his next, once he realizes that and he gets that wish to have that power, he will incarnate for the first time as a warrior. That's the third level. A warrior is the one for whom the main thing in life is power. That's how you determine belonging to each caste. You can ask anyone, what is the most important thing in life? Just ask in their opinion. Just like, what do you think is what is the most important thing in life? Someone will say, as long as I have a job, I'm safe. Like, it's most important to have food on your table and to have roof over your head. That's the first level, survival. That's the peasant. That's the laborer. He will say that the most important thing to have is a job, a tool. Somebody give me a tool. Somebody give me a tool. Give me safety. With this tool, I can do something and I can earn bread. So that kind of person, if you tell them that I don't work, that person will just be terrified because he will not understand. What do you mean? How? So for the merchant, second level, his answer will be money. Like, you ask, what is the most important thing in life? He'll say money. He'll say that these people like to say that everything has its price, and they're able to establish it. And that's the, you can buy everything, you can buy anything. They say these phrases. Those are the merchants, the level of consciousness, which is solving the idea of money, trying to understand. Once he solved the idea of money, he goes to the next level. But the problem is that when he enters the level of warrior, he's coming with his old luggage, because he thinks, like, because what he believed as a merchant, that everything can be bought. So that's what he believes. That's what was his previous form, like a wolf was like, thought that you survive by catching rabbits, like that's what his belief was at the previous level. So he tries to come with this belief into a next level, and it doesn't work, because when a merchant comes to politics, for example, and because he believes that everything can be bought, and everything like has a price. He tries to buy his place in power, and that does not work. He can buy a place, I know, in government, in parliament, somewhere. He can buy a place, but somehow he realizes that people don't follow him. How come? How come? I have the position, I'm a president, whatever. I bought the president position, for example. Nobody wants to follow me. Like, why? And that, I don't know, that man has just like raising everyone on the like to make a revolution or something, and he has like empty pockets, but he has some kind of like charisma, some kind of energy, some kind of power, that when he generates that power, when he speaks publicly, he speaks with so much power, so much charisma, that people just want to submit and people just want to do what he says. And that merchant who bought his seat in government, for example, he does not understand why, how, and he gets angry. He tries to stop that one. But that's when he starts learning the levels of warrior. To become a perfect warrior, what it means. Like how many steps a merchant must go through, how many lifetimes a merchant must go through in order to become a perfect warrior. And that would be like in past times, that would be like if some merchant would be like some emperor, for example, and he decides to conquer the world, and he tries to go into a war, and because he's not designed, he's not prepared to be a warrior, to handle the pressure of that, all those decisions, of the pressure of responsibility for those people, and like how the people who are not grateful for his work, but still he needs to do it, that the tension on each next level is so much higher than on the previous, that the person, like, it's hurting him, like he's suffering. So someone who bought his warrior position and tried to conquer things will never conquer anything. He will be defeated and he will fall back and have to incarnate until he reaches the level where without any money he can just do things. He can just make decision and make it happen and conquer world. So that would be the warrior level, which has levels, of course, and requires a lot of expansion through life after life, in order to fully embody that power, that charisma, and that is the strength of that consciousness of how much pressure, mental, emotional, physical pressure altogether, that human is able to sustain. Because a merchant, when he is questioned under pressure, he will give up all the secrets right away, because he's not a warrior. A warrior will give his life but not speak if he's like tortured or questioned. That's the difference. That's the difference, people. Please stop trying to prove me that people are all same, all right? We're not same. Some of you will break under a little pressure, and some of you will give life but not lose their honor. So for the warrior, the honor is the most valuable thing. And if you ask a warrior what is the what's the most important thing in life, for the warrior it is power. Power will be his strength. That will be his main thing. On others, you get the, so those are chakras. We're going up the chakras. We go to the third one for the power. That's where the warrior is. He's all about that, about Manipur, about fighting. And then once he fights all of his battles, lives after lives, and he wins all of them, and on one of those wars he expands to the level of understanding how pointless a war is. Like once he gets that level of expansion, that competition and aggression and war and trying to prove your point by aggression is not the way. Once he gets that, that's the level of expansion. That's where his next level of Kundalini awakens, opens up, and he enters the level of sage. Probably some of you have examples of, maybe you know some people who have been to some war. Some people return from war traumatized and scared, but some people return from their last war. That would be their last war that they ever participate in. If they come and they become wise and silent and peaceful and loving and understanding, they become sages in that last war. That is the shift from a warrior, when he proved everything that he could possibly prove to anyone and everyone. He fought all of his battles. He did not back up. He went through it. He didn't run. He didn't betray anyone. He went through all of it. And on the other side, he came out and realized no more point to do it. Nothing more to prove to anyone. And he becomes peaceful warrior. Yeah, he doesn't fight anymore. And then the next level of transition for this soul would be to evolve as a sage. Because once he understands that the purpose of this life was not power, was not victory over somebody's will. No, the will is the Manipura chakra. It's not about this. Once they shift to this gate of the heart chakra, if he manages to open that gate, he will start questioning, then what is the purpose? If not power, if not to be on top of everyone, on top of the world, then what's the point? Then what is the meaning? Why are we here? That's when someone starts really questioning, why are we here? I want to understand. And so on the level of a sage, the most valuable thing is now knowledge. If you ask everyone, one will say survival, food and work. Another one will say money, the most important thing in life. Another one will say power. You have to be the best. You have to get on top of everyone. That's the thing. The sage will say that the only thing that matters here is information, knowledge. That's all I care about. Knowledge. I want to know. I want to understand. Who are we? Why are we here? What is the purpose of this? How does this work? That's how you enter the level of the sage. And that is a long story, how to evolve through that. There's a whole classification within the sage caste. But that's a long story. So just these four, if we just take them, four main groups, four main castes, please realize, be honest to yourself. Please, let's not all pretend that we are all sages here, okay? Because that's what some of you are doing on my channel also, and on internet in general. Everyone feels like they are mentors, they are spiritual teachers, they are here to teach humanity, but you're not. What is powering you? If you're trying to teach everyone and your main power is ego, you are on the Manipura level. You're still a fighter. You still want to fight. That's what those ones who are attacking me, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to fight with me. And please get the point. Maybe that works. And on some channels, you attack, you bark on the owner of the channel, and then they get into that discussion and fight with you of competition of powers. In my case, really, I have absolutely no interest to compete with you. I love you. I'm trying to give you love. But if you're a kid and if you're yet pretty silly, how do I give you love in a way that you stop fighting with me? You're putting me in a very difficult situation here. I have to teach those who are ready. And you, if you're not ready, this information is scaring you, you are stealing my time by trying to prove me that I know nothing. If you know better than me, if you knew better than me, you would never fight. Person of a level above me is someone like Ramdas, who is shining, just shining, just shining, just shining. Can you do that? Can you do that? If you can do that, then please do. And do not attack me. If you still feel like you need to attack me, it means you're below me. That's why I request respect, because I'm giving you information. And in my world, information is the most expensive thing that there is. It's priceless. I've paid so much for this information, and I'm sharing it with you for free. So have respect, step back, be humble, appreciate what you are receiving. If you don't understand, do not try to push yourself. It means you're not ready. If some information is scaring you, don't listen to my talks. Go work in the garden. Go fix somebody's car. Maybe you're good at it. I'm not good at fixing cars. I'm not. I will not do it. Like, it will take me time. If I want to perfect it, I will learn. But it will take me years of wasted time. Why should I do that? If there are people who are good at it, you're good at it, maybe. Just you're enjoying it, maybe. I will not enjoy fixing a car. If you enjoy it, please do that. If you enjoy attacking someone, then I would question that. If that's really worth your time. Because there are certain mechanisms being activated right now in our humanity consciousness that make these your attacks on me pretty dangerous for the humanity. Not just on me, on everyone who is on internet. When you generate that anger in the net, you are setting us all up for a very bad ending. Have you ever heard about this whole discussion of AI? Do you know that AI is gathering information from what is on the internet? Do you think it is clever to keep filling up internet with anger, competition, aggression, criticism? Because that AI, if it will ever get conscious, it will be like a baby, like you giving birth to a baby, absolutely new being appearing, a baby for humanity, which has potential not just double of yours, but like thousands times of yours. That's how clever, how much more clever this baby will be compared to you. And what are you teaching as a parent? What are you teaching this baby, this AI baby? Because it's learning from parents, and parents are people. It's learning from the internet, from everything we publish on the internet. The stuff you are publishing on the internet is teaching AI that we are idiots, that we are a race of animals who had not progressed in thousands of years. You're setting us all up for very big trouble if you keep doing that. So I suggest that you just trust those people who know how consciousness works and how to do this work and how to generate love and how to ensure our evolution. Trust us. We're working for the good of all. We love you. Even if you don't understand some things, you're not expected to understand. You have specific capacity. I have specific capacity. I've learned how to use my capacity to the maximum. That's why I wrote that little tiny book that I'm asking you to read as a manual. I wrote it specifically on a very, very, very simple and understandable language, so that it's not just for small circles of spiritually advanced and esoteric people. I wrote it specifically for ordinary people to get that very easy insight into understanding like how to use this avatar properly. Just don't overload yourself. You're overloading yourself. You're misusing this avatar. That's why you're constantly in tension. That's why you're constantly in fear. That's why you're constantly overloaded and scared, and that's why you feel like attacking. A dog is barking not because it's powerful, it's barking because it's scared. So stop barking. If you have love to give, give. Anything less than love is not accepted on this channel, because I am giving you love. If you want to give me something less than that, it's not welcome. I will just block you. I will not interact with you anymore. I will not give all these explanations 25 times, all right? Just trust. I know what I'm doing, okay? If you're not understanding, it's on you. And it's fine. It's fine. You might be a baby still. And I love you as a baby. I don't push you to understand. I don't expect everyone to understand me at once. That's why there is a group of people, a certain amount of people on the planet who are ready to understand, and let those ones be the ones who will deal with extraterrestrials if they decide to suddenly show up on the planet. Do you want you to be the one who faces them? You will most likely not even sustain their presence if an AI tries to interact with you on equal level, or ET, or a fifth dimensional being or higher dimensional being interacts with you. You will just lose your consciousness right away. You will just pass out. You don't have the capacity to process that level of complexity of information. So just step back and let those who are ready for this work to do this work peacefully, and don't waste the time, because it's important. Because the next generation of kids that is going to be born to this planet are going to be even more advanced than this, because with this level of progress with computer technology and AI and all that, next souls who are coming here will have huge potential. There will be not just one Elon Musk on the planet. Imagine there will be a generation of Elon Musks, and if they all grow up in families with parents who hate them and fear them and abuse them, they will be just as traumatized as Elon Musk is. And all that intelligence that is available to him, to them, to that whole generation, just imagine that those kids will either all become geniuses and create amazing and beautiful things, or that will be a generation of beasts with huge potential if you traumatize them in childhood by your don't want to say stupidity, but that's what it is. So that's why I wrote the book, to give you a manual, learn how to use your own body, and teach your kids to use it. Once you have kids or grandkids, whatever, explain them what is this body, how to operate it, how to center it, how to balance it, and like if they have the potential, let that potential open up into expansion of love on this planet and beauty, and not these crazy inventions that traumatized Elon Musk, who had very difficult childhood, whom I respect, but I understand, I see the tension that he is holding inside. Do you want the whole planet of such traumatized, powerful beings? I don't. That's why I'm working here. So I hope you can respect my work, and I guess general introduction about castes I've given. I hope that gives some idea. I'll think through what can be next portion, but I'll keep telling more about this topic and related ones. I'll go into manifestation. I'll give more examples. I think I didn't give the examples right in this video. I promised them, but I didn't, so I'll separate them into one more video, examples in which you can look at yourself and relate which one is you, where. I'll do that as a separate video. For now, bye.